About a year ago, Fallout 76 released the America's Playground update, which added new quests in Atlantic City. Along with the update, as always, comes a new season, which was called Duel with the Devil, and page 5 of this contained a new unlockable camp ally, Adelaide, a flirty, fishnet-wearing Assaultron cabaret singer. Now, I really like Assaultrons. Like, really like them. More than I'd like to admit, so my interest was piqued. But I'm not a big fan of all the grinding in this game, so I never bothered getting this far on the Battle Pass. You see, I've been playing this game off and on since I pre-ordered the Tricentennial Edition back in 2018. I mean, heck, I even played the beta. But I never really got into it. I played every time there's a new update with new story content, but I just can't get past the fact that this game is all about getting the best gear and min-maxing your character to be even relevant in combat. And they gatekeep half the content in the game behind a monthly paid subscription. Like, what's the deal with that? Not to mention all the grinding in this game to unlock the actually cool gear. It's annoying, so I just don't bother with that side of the game and... wait, what's that? You can have sex with the Assaultron? Hey everyone, welcome to the IR Dark channel, where today, I'll be showing you how I spent hours in this game grinding so that I could virtually bang a robot's metal frame. It was a long and arduous journey that forced me to learn how to be relevant in combat so that I could actually participate in global events, and log on daily to do the same quest over and over and over and... yeah, you get the idea. So watch as I embark on this journey, which I imposed upon myself when I decided it would be a funny video idea to show how I got this companion in the weird online Fallout game. Now, I have to explain something first. As I stated at the beginning of this video, Adelaide was added to the game in Season 16, but as of writing this, Season 20 just started. For those of you who know anything about this game, once the season ends, you can't get its rewards anymore. Well, most of the rewards. You see, a bit after the season ended, the developers added Adelaide as a plan that could be purchased from Samuel at Foundation for 4,000 gold bullion. Well, that's a lot, but you can get a couple hundred gold from doing events every day, so that shouldn't be too hard, and... wait, you need to have maxed settler reputation to even see the plan in the trade menu? Ugh, this is gonna take a while. Yeah, back in 2020 when Bethesda realized that maybe they should actually add NPCs in this game, they added two major factions, the Settlers and the Raiders. This is in the Wastelanders update, which had a quest centered around finding a hidden gold vault, and once you find it, you get to decide between giving it to the Raiders, Settlers, or yourself. Now, when I did this quest, I worked with the Settlers and gave them half the gold, which got me to cooperative, maybe friendly? I don't know, it was like almost 5 years ago, okay? I don't remember, and I never recorded it. Anyway, sometime in December of last year, I started playing Fallout 76 again, like once a week to try and build up my reputation with the Settlers. I didn't record it, but I think it was at like the friendly level of reputation, close to neighborly. And when I started recording my progress for this video in February, I was about a third of the way through neighborly, the last rank before the final point, ally. There are a few ways to raise your settler reputation, like the world event Eviction Notice, which gives a decent reputation boost upon completion. However, you simply have to hope this event pops up on your server randomly, so it isn't a very reliable way. Next up is the daily quest Recipe for Success. You help this French girl make soup at the White Spring. You then have the choice to give the prepared soup to either the Settlers or the Raiders to raise their reputation. But this one is random, I think. I don't know. Apparently the Refuge Day quests are random each day, and there's like 3 others that can show up, but I think you have to do one for the next one to spawn on the next day, so I don't know. It meant that I was only able to do this quest like maybe 3 or 4 times. Another thing you can do daily is talk to the Overseer the robot for a quest to take photos of Crater, the Raider base, but instead of bringing the photos back to him, you can bring them to Foundation for a bit of reputation. But I didn't even find out about this one until like a week ago, so I only did it twice. But the most reliable, and unfortunately boring quest you can do is Vital Equipment. Let me walk you through this quest. You fast travel to Foundation. You wait in the minute-long loading screen. You walk to Ward's office. You try to talk to Ward, but sometimes it takes an extra minute for him to load in before he says, "Finally, someone with the guts to help." Then, he says that a raider stole their intrusion module, or their medical scanner, or their multi-scope, or their osmosis kit, or their portable power pack, or their water-cooled bone saw, or their turret circuit board, or their multi-frequency scrambler. Then he marks your map with a vague area that the thief is in, so you fast travel to the random location, and you sit in another loading screen, and then you turn on the Foundation property tracker signal in your Pip-Boy and wander around until the beeping gets fast enough that the thief is nearby, so you can shoot them, or take it off their corpse, because sometimes they're already dead. Anyway, now that you have the random junk item, you can now fast roll back to Foundation and sit in another loading screen before finally returning to Ward and giving him the item while saying, "Glad to help, I'm donating my reward to Foundation." Because that's the option that gives the maximum amount of reputation, But sometimes it bugs out because he's still loading in, and I have to say it twice before the quest completes, and I watch the little reputation bar inch along the bottom of the screen. And you can only do it once a day, so get ready to spend like 50 days doing this if you want to max your reputation. Okay, maybe I'm overreacting a little bit. It's tedious, but not completely ridiculous. But like, imagine in Fallout 4 if you had to do Scribe Halion's Radiant quest 20 times just to be able to get the option to buy a suit of Brotherhood power armor. I don't know, this is why I don't like Fallout 76. Also, the loading screens are so long. I play the game on an Xbox Series S, and I'd like to play on PC, but I've been playing the same character since the game came out, and you can't transfer your character, which I think is stupid, but whatever. But hey, at least sometimes the loading screen image is a picture I took, which is often a close-up of an Assaultron, so that makes them a bit more bearable. So as you can probably imagine, this process was very monotonous, but I did some other stuff of note along the way. Like trying the new raids they added, which are pretty neat. However, if you die, you don't get to respawn, which is super annoying, and the group of randoms I tried it with weren't able to get past the second room, so I just haven't bothered with it since. I heard the final boss of this dungeon is cool, but I don't know, I can't be bothered unless I can get some overpowered high-level players to carry me through it. But after that failed raid, I began to notice that my character build sucked. You see, that's another thing I don't like about Fallout 76. You have to spec into a certain type of build to be relevant in combat, and then only use that weapon type and hope for good legendaries. They recently made it so you can craft legendaries, which is nice, and I got super lucky with getting the 1% chance to learn how to craft the explosive effect. But still, it's just grinding and hoping for good RNG so you can one-shot enemies like every other player on the server seems to be doing. Anyway, I mainly use shotguns in the game, so I maxed out my shotgun perks, which, yeah, I should have done that sooner, but whatever. I just never really cared how good my character was in this game until now. However, I've also recently learned that apparently shotguns are trash in this game, so seems like a bit of a wasted effort. But this seems like a good time as any to introduce you to my character. He's a cryptozoologist devil's advocate, who's also a knight errant in the Brotherhood of Steel. Oh, and a general in the Enclave, but that's really just a technicality so I can launch nukes as I see fit. He wears this imposter sheepsquatch outfit that a rogue Assaultron used to wear, and the old head of a different Assaultron named Polly, who works as a bouncer at this bar. Yeah, crazy story that. I had to rescue her from this old mineshaft, you know, like the big hero that I am. Then I went and found her a new Assaultron body, and then she gave me this helmet as a thank you. So yeah, now I can say that I got head from an Assaultron. Cool thing about it though is that it opens and closes depending on whether or not you're in combat. This is a feature in Fallout 4 too, but I think it's cool that they carried it over. Anyway, another thing that happened while I was working towards my goal was the Fastnacht event, which is a yearly event in Fallout 76 that apparently the community finds really annoying. But it's based on the real-life event held in Helvetia, West Virginia, which is a small town of Swiss immigrants, so I've always found it cool that the developers added it. As for other random things of note, one time a feral ghoul officer was just roaming around at Foundation and only attacking me for some reason. But after doing some more events, I got enough treasury notes to turn in that I got me to 4,000 gold bullion. So I now have enough to buy Adelaide, but because of silly game design, I can't buy her yet. But at least my reputation is getting closer and closer to ally, so we're almost there. I did resolve a debate between two comic book fans though, which was a pretty funny interaction I'd never seen before.
Who would win in a no-holds-barred, no-spells forbidden, all-out battle between the Mistress of Mysteries and the Inspector? Agreed! The Inspector not only unravels magical mysteries, but is a master of magic herself. Not even the Eye of Ra.
But the next day, I managed to get the soup quest to start. This is a fun quest where you stir stew by holding on the A button until nothing happens. What, do you think Bethesda was going to make an animation for this? No, only Atomic Shop items get to have cool animations. Anyway, then you run into the back room and look for the ingredients. Once you find them in the mess that is the Responder's storage system, you need to wash the potatoes, chop the carrots, and beat your meat before adding it all to the stew. Then you have to hunt for salt and pepper and, hey, there's a deactivated Assaultron in here. Apparently this Assaultron used to work in the spa, but was deactivated for causing spinal injuries.
Due to reports of spinal contusions, robot chiropractic and massage services are no longer available.
Sorry.
Once the soup is ready, you can choose to add a stim pack, which I'm pretty sure gives you a bit more reputation when you give it to the settler representative in the next room. But the next time I went to Foundation, it literally didn't load in, and I got a good laugh out of it until the game just crashed. After relaunching the game, Ward's Quest sent me to Skyline Valley, the new region that was added last year, which is pretty cool. I didn't find the new questline that interesting, but I like the new area. Also, I got lucky and was able to do the soup quest again, so yay, more reputation. Anyway, this seems like a good time to flex the fact that I've actually been to the White Spring in real life. That being the Greenbrier Hotel in West Virginia. A few years ago I visited the hotel, not to stay at because it's super expensive, but I took the bunker tour because yes, there was an actual fallout shelter built under the hotel using taxpayer dollars to protect members of the US government in the event of nuclear war. Unfortunately, you're not allowed to take photos in there, but it is a proper bunker that's been declassified. So yeah, really cool experience. I'd love to go back sometime in the future. Bethesda beautifully remade the resort in game, so it was very surreal to see it in real life. Back to the game, this cool chick wanted me to take photos of her, which was kinda cool, but, you know, she's not really my type. After that, I did the photo taking quest for the Overseer's robot, which simply involves taking a picture of the raider leader and another picture of a place without a fast travel marker, so I have to walk to it, but whatever. Look, now I'm fighting a giant mole rat, isn't that neat? Once you take the photos, you need to go talk to Ward, how original, and give him the photos free of charge. Then you go back to the robot and tell him you gave the photos to someone else, because apparently no one teaches vault dwellers what a copy machine is. He then says, "Screw you, your reward is forfeit," before giving you 3 treasure notes. Like seriously, where are these coming from? Are the Secret Service agents handing these out and setting up the gold machines? How does this work? Whatever. Sorry to question your almighty wisdom, Todd. Anyway, the next day I played was a very special day. The new update came out, which added a new quest that lets you become a ghoul, but as I stated earlier, I'm a Brotherhood Knight, so why would I want to become one of those things? But looking at the new battle pass, about halfway through, they finally added a toilet paper holder into the game. The only problem is that it's facing the wrong way. Yeah, fun fact here, in Fallout 4 when you start the game, there's a roll of toilet paper that is facing the wrong way, and you need to download a mod to fix it. So when Fallout 76 came out, they actually fixed it in the intro vault room, with a little note on the mirror about putting it the right way. So developers going back and adding this roll facing the wrong way again is pretty annoying, but oh, wait, they added the fixed version as a separate item at the end of the battle pass. Look, before you ask, no, I'm not going to make a video where I grind this season to get the toilet paper, alright? But the reason this day was special was because it was the day I had been working towards for months. Hours spent in this game had led up to this session. Shortly after I joined a server, the eviction notice event popped up, which gave my reputation a big boost. It was so close now. All I would have to do was go and talk to Ward. One last time.
Finally.
I tracked down the raider thief, grabbed the medical scanner, returned to Foundation, spoke with Ward, and he bugged out. But I tried again, and I watched as my reputation finally hit allies. I rushed to talk to Samuel and... wait, where the hell is he? He's always leaning against this rail, where did he go? For whatever reason, he was committed to playing this steel guitar, but thankfully Fallout 76 has a designated trade button for vendors, so you don't have to sit through their dialogue. And sure enough, there I saw the option before me, the plan for Adelaide. I bought the plans for the Gauss shotgun too, because I remember hearing that it was good when it came out, but I looked it up recently and apparently it sucks, so that's nice, that's 500 gold I'm not going to get back. But now with the plan learned, I simply need to return to my camp and find a place to build Adelaide's table. As soon as I placed it down, I heard the sound of mechanical heels behind me. And as I turned around...
Is that my heart beating faster or a Geiger counter? Nope, it's a Geiger counter.
her pathing got messed up and she couldn't figure out where to go, but eventually she just teleported into place.
There you are, darling. Why, the darndest time trying to find this venue. Are you sure my adoring fans will be able to make it here?
Who are you?
I'm here for the signing. Wait. This isn't a venue, is it?
Unless the performance is watching me sleep, then no.
I can think of dozens of responses to that, but I don't want to give you the wrong idea. I'm not that type of girl. Instead, let me ask a question. Why do you have a table with my name on it?
I like how it looked.
Of course you do. It's exactly as I planned it, and I'm known for making things look good. Let me start this again. As the table says, I am Adelaide. And as you may have guessed from my alluring charm, I am a performer. A showgirl. A shining star shooting across the night sky from Atlantic City to Broadway. Or wherever New Broadway is, since the Big Apple is a big crater.
Now, this is actually a matter of contention among fans, whether or not New York City is completely wiped out or not, so Adelaide's comment here is actually pretty interesting if accurate, though she could be exaggerating.
Would you do me the pleasure of letting me stay here while I sort this out?
Yes! I mean, why should I let you stay here?
Oh, gonna make a girl beg for it? I'll figure something out. Maybe if you're open-minded, I can teach you about human-robot interfacing.
So that is Adelaide, ladies and gentlemen. Well, mainly gentlemen, if we're being honest about who's watching this video right now. Anyway, the strange thing is that Adelaide has a different voice than most Assaultrons. In 4 and 76, they're all voiced by Colleen Delaney, who also voices like half of the women in Skyrim.
I am sworn to carry your burdens.
But I couldn't find any information on who does the voice for Adelaide. It sounds like her, but I couldn't find a concrete answer. All this to say, I'm moderately disappointed that she doesn't have the usual dominant Assaultron voice.
Baby, can't you tell?
And while she says she's a singer, she won't actually sing for you, which is disappointing, but she has a lot of interesting things to say, like this funny comment she makes about the helmet I'm wearing.
I know imitation is flattery, but I must ask, darling, where did you get that helmet?
And you can ask her some questions about herself, like what Atlantic City was like. And she describes it as beautiful, so clearly she has a screw loose or something else I'll need to fix, because there's no logical way anyone could describe anywhere in New Jersey as beautiful. Also, while I was trying to flirt with her, one of the randoms in my team kept buying ammo from my vendor one at a time, so thanks for the constant interruptions, Cheech for Food. It's hard not to notice a body as well manufactured as yours.
Oh, stop. Actually, continue. I like the attention.
Where'd you get your name?
I was going to be called Hot Damn after the first words of my manufacturer, but Miss Damn doesn't sound very nice. I'm kidding, don't write that down.
But one of her dialogue lines implies there's something more to her story. Something more sinister. You mentioned that you don't do solo performances anymore. Why is that?
A gal like me only performs to a full house. Anything less would be sacrilege. I only did one private performance and it was a mess. So never again. All I remember is that I had to bow out early. I'm missing the key word to my own memories, so unfortunately that's all I know. There was a wise guy in Atlantic City that sometimes tinkered around in my head. Come to think of it, he never really seemed like much of a mechanic.
This is a clue I made sure to take note of, as it should lead to an important discovery. But before that, I made sure to buy her autograph, which is simply a printed piece of paper with your name here written at the top. So naturally I did the reasonable thing, and immediately became a scalper, selling the autograph for thousands of caps. But returning the nice piece of Assaultron that is Adelaide, I asked her, you mentioned something about helping me understand human-robot interfacing?
That was me flirting. Wow, that went right over your head, didn't it?
I am well aware. I just wanted a hands-on demonstration.
Who could blame you, baby? You wouldn't be the first to want to get
That's class!
Let's save that for later, though. How about I give you some tips to get under the steel plating of the local automatons?
But she will give you tips on how to fight robots that gives you a temporary buff to take 25% less damage to robots and deal 50% more damage to robots, which is really good and totally the main reason people get her as a companion. Yeah, no other reason. But after this, I decided it was time to solve a mystery. Something happened in Atlantic City that caused Adelaide to have to leave and is affecting her memory. So I hopped in a vertibird and set out for New Jersey. Last time I was here, I literally fought the devil. Yeah, don't ask. Anyway, Atlantic City is a dingy place with dangerous residents and casinos run by the mob. This game does take place after nuclear war, right? But you heard that correct. There are casinos here, which means you can gamble. Yeah, gambling! There's this big slot machine that costs 100 caps to use, and I was only getting like 50 caps back each time, but I would have hit the jackpot if I kept going. I just know it. I only stopped because I had to get back to my mission. I jumped down this elevator shaft into a back room that was empty for some reason. On a table, there was a note titled Adelaide Reminder.
Let me spell it out for you bozos. Operation Bluebell will be taking place on Thursday. Not Wednesday like Jimmy was saying. Thursday. If nothing else gets through your thick skulls, just remember Thursday. Why do you need to remember Thursday? Because that's the day you need to stay away from the rehearsal hall. Boss has some plans for that rising star Adelaide, and wants to see if they can't get their money's worth from her with a secondary purpose. If you hear music on Thursday, congrats, you're an idiot who can't follow instructions. Right away! She's been upgraded with a remote receiver for an unforgettable show. Got it? Good. If you have questions, read this note again.
So the mob leaders hacked into Adelaide and installed a remote receiver. But for what purpose? Upon returning to my home in Appalachia, I saw some government drones flying above my property, so I made sure to show them my Second Amendment rights. But after that, I spoke with Adelaide to show her what I'd found. I found this note in Atlantic City with your name on it.
You'll need to narrow it down, darling. Anyone who could talk about me did talk about me.
It didn't make a lot of sense, but it did mention an Operation Bluebell.
Now, why does that phrase ring a metaphorical bell? Let me check something. Keyword accepted. Unlocking. That unlocked something about my last performance. And about Frankie. Frankie is, or was, my biggest fan.
What happened?
Frankie was a girl that got tied up with the wrong made man. My boss told me to invite her to a rehearsal performance. Nobody else but me on the stage and her in the seats. During the chorus of my second song, everything went black. And when I resumed functions, she was dead.
That wasn't you. The paper said something about a remote receiver.
What? Then during my maintenance, those bastards. I tried to be more than a weapon. But I guess I can't escape what I am.
You're not defined by something that happened to you. What's important is how you handle it.
But there's a chance it'll happen again. I don't know how I could handle it if I hurt you too. Thank you for telling me. And for letting me talk about this. Though, I think it may be best if we keep a bit of distance between us. At least until I can move beyond this remote control issue. But, enough about wallowing in the past. The show must go on. Back to my most important role. You know her. You love her. It's Adelaide.
The way she delivers that last line just breaks my heart, man. Why does this automaton have so much emotion? But after this, there's one more round of dialogue you can go through with her to resolve this misfortunate mechanical malfunction. I think I know a way to fix your remote control issue.
Oh, really? Well, don't keep a girl waiting in anticipation.
There are a variety of options here, one of which is a fun reference to the Robco override code in Fallout New Vegas, as well as an intelligence check and a robotics expert check. I actually know a thing or two about the inner workings of robots.
Oh my, what a flirt. Let's give it a try. Talk about opening up to someone.
Feeling less susceptible to murderous suggestions?
I feel lighter. Like a few bites were freed up. I'm also not hearing as much static. Or that radio host. Regardless, thank you, darling. I don't want to seem ungrateful, but, why did you help me?
I want to be able to get close to you.
Oh, honey, I'm flattered. Really, I am, but look at me. Saying that I'm not like other girls is a bit of an understatement.
I like that you're different. It's fun.
I wouldn't want any other word describing me. Let me show you how fun I can be. I think this is the beginning of something beautiful.
After all this time, I can now say that I've had sex with an Assaultron in a Fallout game. Honestly, this should have been an option in Fallout 4. Like, sure, you can have sex with that RoboBrain actress in Far Harbor, but come on, Cleo is right there. Also, before Adelaide was even added to the game, Bethesda had planned to add a side quest where you go on a date with an Assaultron. But in the greatest tragedy of our generation, that quest was cut. However, all the voice lines were found in the game files.
You want to go out on a date then? Splendid. I know a great spot for us to have a romantic picnic. So, what are your thoughts on marriage?
So, come on, Fallout 4 modders, I'm asking you, no, begging you to use these lines to make a Fallout 4 mod that adds Jesse to the game as a romance option. Please, please, it would be so cool. And sure, Bethesda's terms of service don't allow you to port assets, but these are just audio files, which I'm fairly certain means that it's fair game for modding. I think. Anyway, this is my plea to any of you talented mod authors out there. Please, please make this mod real. You guys are so cool. You make so many cool Fallout 4 mods. I love you. Back to Fallout 76. I tried to interface with Adelaide again, but she told me this.
Whoa there, darling. You do that too much in a day and you'll go blind.
However, when I went to sleep in my bed, I got the Lover's Embrace perk, which gives 5% bonus XP, like the Well Rested perk, except it lasts 3 times as long. And to finish off this already great day, I got lucky and got a perfectly preserved pie from this machine on only the 3rd try. So that's it. That's the story of how I forced myself to grind in Fallout 76 so that I could have sex with an Assaultron. Achieving this goal was hard, but so am I. Did it actually take 100 hours to do this? Sort of? I don't know. I have over 300 hours in the game, and if you consider that I probably put at least 100 hours in since Wastelanders came out, which you could then, count the time since as time spent building up settler reputations, so it counts, right? The title's not a complete lie. And even if it is, what are you gonna do about it, huh? Honestly, I wonder if I'll even be able to monetize this video, but if you manage to tolerate my jokes and whining about a video game enough to make it to the end of this thing, then I appreciate you. Will I make more videos on Fallout 76? I don't know. I still have to work on the Ricky Raider finale, so there's that. But I hope you enjoyed this one. For those of you who've been around on the channel for a while, you may remember the first time I talked about Adelaide, in this video. And the mod that adds the Adelaide paint job to Fallout 4 is still in Nexus, so go check that out. Anyway, I'm gonna go interface with Adelaide now, so get out of here.
So we're glad you dropped by. Come in, loosen up your tie. Have a drink or maybe just one more.
Welcome back, darling. Now that you're here, how about we assume the position